Welcome again to the lecture series on repertories. Today we are going to see the topic Plan and Construction of Bbcr. First we will see the introduction. Having found certain difficulties in day-to-day use of therapeutic pocketbook, BOGER tried to modify the structure and content of the book by adding many medicines and rubrics drawn from his own experience and other sources. Thus, the book has undergone a vast change, but its principles have remained unchanged. While compiling the repertory, BOGER followed the basic plan and construction of BOENNINGHAUSEN'S repertory of antisoric medicines, which could overcome many difficulties faced in using therapeutic pocketbook. Unlike BOENNINGHAUSEN, he made several sections for different parts of the body, and he added many rubrics and subrubrics. The modalities for each part are given at the end of each chapter and also towards the end of the book as general modalities. The chapter on fever has been entirely changed in its arrangement as well as in its content for easy reference. However, he used the same typography as that of BOENNINGHAUSEN. Now we will see the sources. The repertory embraces the soric and the antisoric repertories, sides of the body, the repertory part of the intermittent fever and of whooping cough, as well as the large number of paragraphs from aphorism of Hippocrates. In order to understand the book, it is imperative to acquaint oneself with its plan, construction and arrangement. Now we will see the plan of the chapters. The name of all main sections are written in bold capital. For example, head, nose, stomach, etc. The names of subchapters are written in ordinary capital. For example, face, then you find lips, then page number you will find 404. Lower jaw and maxillary joint, then page number 410. Section for spatial senses are given as subchapters like eye vision, ear hearing, nose smell. In order to mark the starting of subsection, the name of the main chapter will be written at the top left side of the page and the name of the subchapter or subsection on the top right side. Some subchapters are further divided into subchapters. The flow of the sequence is as similar to Hahnemann's anatomical schema. Sublocations are arranged in schematic order as inner to outer, head internal then head external, chest inner then chest external, more important to less important. Now we will see the arrangement. Most of the section in the book starts with the rubric in general. This rubric groups those prominent medicines which are capable of producing different types of symptoms in relation to that organ location. Clinically, these medicines have an affinity towards those particular organs. This grouping may not help us in the process of systemic repertorization, but it can be of much help to know the affinity towards the parts. It suggests organ remedies which may be useful for finding out a drug for palliation when only a few prescribing symptoms are available in the case. Location rubrics are followed by further subdivision of parts. with each part having rubrics like side and extending to. After the location, different sensations are arranged in an alphabetical order. Each sensation is a general rubric, which is followed by a group of medicines. It is divided into sub-rubrics under which parts are mentioned, mostly abbreviations. Rubrics for the pain are further divided into various types of pain, that is, aching, burning, piercing, etc. Usually, these sub-rubrics are too specific and have a less number of medicines. Thus, these sub-rubrics are less useful in repertorization. The rubrics for location and sensation are mixed and there are no separate headings given for them. But it is easy to understand because there is an order, that is, after location, sensations are arranged in alphabetical order. This is followed by time, aggravation, amelioration, concomitants and cross-reference. Now we will see the construction. BOGER's repertory is based on the concept of complete symptom. In each chapter, rubrics are arranged in alphabetical order with certain exceptions. The chapters or sections in the BOGER's repertory can be classified into two groups as one, general section, for example, mind completed with sensation, modalities, concomitants and cross-reference. The second one, regional section. In each regional section, we get following subsections: location and sensations given together, time, aggravation, amelioration, concomitants, and then comes the cross-references. Now we will see the first one, location and sensations. The location and sensations are mixed in BOGER's repertory. So, separate headings are not given for them. Usually, the location is further split into different subdivisions, sides and extension. This subsection of location is useful because it groups the medicine for the parts. In repertorization, if a rubric is selected for parts, these rubrics can be used in the repertory. Sensation begins after the end of location. Usually, a horizontal line indicates the end of location and beginning of sensation. Different sensations and pathological conditions are mentioned in relation to each part. Therefore, it meets the usual objections raised against BOENNINGHAUSEN'S grand generalization. Each specific sensation is again attached to the subdivisions of the main location. This is useful from the point of repertorization, as it specifies the sensation and contains a group of medicine. Rubrics which contain smaller group of medicines can be used only for reference purpose. We see the example. Along with most of the rubrics for locations, abbreviations are given instead of repeating the whole rubric again to denote the part chapter. For example, in the chapter lower extremities, you will find thigh U capital, leg L, foot F, then bones in front of that you will find capital B, etc. The rubrics for locations and sensations are not denoted by any title. Rubrics are printed in bold Roman letters and the sub-rubrics are in italics. For example, you will find ears, capital, dryness, then you will find meatus in italics, side, then the side right or left are represented in capital R or L in italics respectively. For example, The head internal drawing, capital T then capital R, should be read as drawing pain in temple region, right side. Now we will see the second point, the time. Here the medicines are grouped under broad division of time like daytime, morning, forenoon, noon, etc. There are no specific hours mentioned unlike the Kent's repertory. This subsection of time is given at the end of each section. This subsection specifies the aggravation of complaints at a particular time. Time modalities in general are given towards the end of the repertory under the heading Conditions in general. In some chapters, specific hours are mentioned with a very small group of medicines. This is useful because most of the patients mention broad division of time rather than the exact hour of suffering. Now we will see the next point is the aggravation. This subsection contains factors which increase the specific complaints of the part, and it also includes the factor which excites or bring on complaints. Some of the concomitant factors are also found in this subsection, especially in those sections which are not followed by a separate chapter on concomitants. This subsection is larger than the amelioration and most useful for repertorization, particularly for acute cases and so-called the short cases. For example, factors which increase the specific complaints. Causative modalities, elements from or factors which excites or brings on the complaints. Let's see example, head, internal, aggravation, joy from, excessive joy from is given on the page number 285. Concomitants in some chapters. Concomitants are given in aggravation section, especially in those chapters which are not having a separate section on concomitants. For example, ears, aggravation, nausea with, you will find on the page number 363. Head, internal, aggravation, irritations with, page number 284. Aggravations are arranged in alphabetical order. In some chapters, aggravation and ameliorations are given together under one heading, aggravation and amelioration. For example, sensorium, stool, etc. In some chapters, aggravation and ameliorations are given together under the heading conditions. For example, anus, rectum, perineum, urine, condition of urination, urinary organ, genitalia, voice and speech. Now we will see the next point is amelioration. It is found in practice that the patient finds it difficult to present ameliorating factors. Thus, this subsection contains lesser number of rubrics and is given less importance in repertorization. The ameliorating factor is used for the purpose of individualizing the case. Next point now is concomitants. This is a major contribution of BOGER to the homeopathic system of medicine. He has worked hard to collect concomitants from different sources, namely provings, clinical experience and verifications, which were not accessible to the profession earlier. This is a valuable addition for the purpose of repertorization. Most of the concomitant subsections are well explained and arranged in an alphabetical order, but a few subsections have only a group of medicines. For instance, mind section, which are not obviously less useful. For example, concomitants under the mind section is given on the page number 229. Chapter on fever is extremely rich in concomitants in relation to chill, heat and sweat under different subheadings. For this, BOGER is gratefully remembered. However, all chapters are not followed by this subsection. Now we will see the next point is a cross-reference. This is another significant subsection which makes the repertory more useful and comprehensible. In our day-to-day practice, we get maze of symptoms in some cases and a few there is a scarcity of expressions. But in both conditions, we have to evaluate and come to the characteristic symptoms for a prescription. To locate these hard-on characteristic symptoms in the repertory, we must adequately interpret and convert them into rubrics. This subsection helps us to do this and also to clear our confusion about similar rubrics. However, cross-reference is not given at the end of all chapters. For example, cross-references are also mentioned under the rubrics after the medicine as compare. For example, mind, dejection, despondency, page number 197. Below you will find compare, low spirits, despair. The subsection chapter cross-reference is not given at the end of all chapters. In repertory, there are total 53 sections or chapters. After the Materia Medica and repertory part towards the end, the word index arranged chapter-wise. The index of the book is excellent and exhaustive, which enables even a beginner to locate the symptom more readily. In spite of all this, the repertory is lacking in an index of remedies represented in the repertory part. Later, an index was prepared by Dr. Tiwari, where he gives the total number of remedies represented in repertory to be 442. But originally, this book contains 489 remedies. Total number of pages are 1231 pages, which are arranged in double column. Thank you for listening the lecture on Plan and Construction of Bbcr. If you like the video, then please do subscribe and share. Thank you and see you soon with the new video on repertory.